We had a hard negotiation now with Kate, with our event organizers, so we got 3 additional minutes from 17 minutes to 20 minutes for this session. Yeah, Dreamforce. Um, it was mentioned a few times already today, and we actually just came from Dreamforce. What was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? We were all there actually. Taking in the hype and everything new with Salesforce, but also general with what is going on in Silicon Valley. Maybe just a few statistics about the Dreamforce, what it is. So Salesforce says it's the biggest software technology customer experience event in the world. It's huge. It's like 50,000 people coming for 3 days. There is 1,500 sessions in 3 days. So you can imagine it's very hard to actually choose where to attend and what to actually learn. You will see a few pictures that we took and some other professional photographers took while we were in San Francisco. And the key main impression from the whole conference, of course, was that Salesforce made this huge bet on artificial intelligence, on agents, because after 3 days, honestly, we were also a little bit inspired, but also a little bit tired of all the agents and everything. We need to admit that, although, yes, the inspiration, let's say, that was the overwhelming part. Salesforce is building the architecture. It's really not just what you see from a demo, but it's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of pipes and plumbing in the background that will enable businesses now and in the future to be able to use artificial intelligence. And maybe also my impression, I've been working with Salesforce for 15 years, so there is a lot of people from Salesforce in this hotel today, but no one works with Salesforce probably as long as I do. And there was no time in my history working with Salesforce where my colleagues from Salesforce would be so enthusiastic and so mission-driven as they are currently. Sometimes it's even hard to discuss with Salesforce guys because it is becoming really mission-driven, partly religious belief in how the world will change because of AI and agents. Yeah, so maybe we start with Dan. Dan, this was your first Dreamforce. And for those that till the end of this talk, we will convince them to go also to Dreamforce next year. So what was your general impression on being on such a huge conference?
Yeah, first, hi to everybody, also from my side. Yeah, it was my first on-site Dreamforce. I did attend previous Dreamforces online, but obviously being there physically, it's completely different experience. Yeah, firstly, San Francisco and the whole this Bay Area, I was very excited because all the technological big companies that you know today, Google, Meta, Apple, Nvidia, Salesforce, etc., they're all there. So I was very excited. And San Francisco by itself is not really like a futuristic city. It's not a flashy city. It's very iconic. The ones who were there know that. These narrow row houses and all the hills, ups and downs. You work out every day, all the time, which is a good thing. But what surprised us, whole Mark already mentioned in the keynote, was this enormous number of these self-driving taxis. So Waymo's all around there, they're functioning really well, and we were desperately wanted to have this experience. It was quite a challenge because you need to hack the system. Actually, you need to be a citizen, etc. So by trying so, we ended up in a Tesla store. And in Tesla store, the salesperson offered us a test drive with the Cybertruck. And we tried to hide our enormous excitement, said, okay. And then we go, and the Cybertruck drove us mostly by itself, most of the time. And we were, of course, amazed, and we forgot about the Waymo's completely for a couple of days. So yeah, about the Dreamforce itself, so it's a huge event. You see some pictures here. It's a very big, like I think 50,000 people gathered in one place, place is like, gospodarsko razstavišče, but on steroids, very much bigger. And yeah, all the police there controlling the traffic, some main streets in downtown closed, and all the security. Salesforce really takes the security very seriously. So the security was similar to the border, not the Slovenian-Croatian border, but the US border. You have to put everything out of the bag and inside the bag all the time when you're entering the building. So the only difference was that at US border I felt, because of all these questions, I felt guilty by default. I don't know why. And in Salesforce, I felt a bit more welcomed. So, and yeah, then you have all these sessions that Marco was already mentioned. I think there are, 20, 30 sessions in parallel all the time. And immediately you have this challenge, what not to attend. So what to pick and what to leave behind. And you have this Salesforce event app, and you can plan your sessions up front. So I did my homework. I planned it like a couple of weeks before. And I thought that I created the best plan ever. But after the first day, I figured it out that I need to change completely everything. So the strategy, and I went into more like guerrilla tactics the next day. And yeah, it was more like trial and error for me. After day 3, I think I figured it out, but it was over after day 3. So I got some answers to my questions because I set a goal, what I need to know, what I need to get, what information I need. And you could find this information anywhere. So it was like I realized that Dreamforce is not just sessions. It's more than that. It's like community. It's partner use cases. It's this Dreamforce forest where you could get lost and you have some challenges and giveaways, etc. So networking and so on. So much more. Yeah, in a nutshell, very good experience. I recommend to everybody, if you have these options, to go there. Alternatively, you also have the availability to check the sessions. Some of them, like main keynotes and some these keynotes, online also on Salesforce Plus platform. So yeah, it's I think free. You just need to log in with Trailblazer account and you can check it out. So yeah.
Okay. So Kate, it wasn't your first time?
No, it wasn't, no.
You're a seasoned Dreamforce visitor.
Yeah, a bit. I was not surprised that San Francisco turned into Dreamforce city for 3 days, yeah.
But how is it for you? You are within Salesforce, so you knew.
Yeah, I think I would echo what you've said about excitement and, not just excitement of us employees of Salesforce, because obviously we know it inside out. And for us, this is the biggest event of the year where we share all the main innovations with our community, with our trailblazers. But it was excitement from everyone. Like every customer I spoke with, they said, oh, I'm inspired by this vision, right? And I understand that I might be 10 steps away or 2 steps away, depending where they are. But I know that, there are some companies who got there. So guys, help me get there, right? And for me, this is one of the key things of Salesforce and Dreamforce as the conference. Getting this inspiration, understanding what's possible, all the innovations that happen in US, they're gonna come here maybe with a little bit of a lag, but then it's on us, how do we bring them here, right? Second part, as Dan, what you mentioned, like Salesforce is not just about technology and innovation, it's about community. And I'm very pleased that this year we had a very good community from Adriatic actually visiting Dreamforce. And, I hope you get some like first-hand experience. Because I think that's a place where you can talk to like-minded individuals, find someone who is from your industry, did the same mistakes that you maybe have done, or did something better. So you can connect, you can learn something, you can build those networks, and it's all the way from inspirational thought leadership from some famous actors or famous business people at the keynote to really coffee chat in the hallway, right? This whole thing is buzzing for 3 days, and there are many, many good conversations happening there. And of course, also Metallica was, something that helped me make this Dreamforce unforgettable. So that was very cool.
Okay. So I think Dreamforce, for those of you who will attend in the future. It's an opportunity for us. We are all Eastern Europeans, you know, and it's an opportunity to leave our Eastern European grumpiness and cynicism at home and indulge in the American optimism and kind of an overreaction to everything that is going. So it's a nice experience, you know, to just be in a room with so much of excited people. In general, yeah. So if we go a little bit into the content itself, what was announced, maybe I start with Dan. So obviously AI was the main topic, but this AI was somehow relating back to all our standard products that we are helping customers here in the region use.
The Holy Trinity, yeah.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity, exactly. Yeah. So how did you experience this part? So what were your takeaways in terms of where Salesforce is actually going?
Okay, so first, as Salesforce partner, we always try to see from two perspectives. So one is this hype that we were talking about.
Yeah.
We were excited, of course, but the other one is more, let's say, objective. We want to see what is real, what is, let's say, relevant for customers and how to guide them through this Agentforce process. So yeah, it was everything about AI and Agentforce on all the slides. The second one was the thank you slide. Yeah, regarding you already heard today the Agentic Enterprise term and Agentforce 360. Agentforce by itself is not a new thing. It was introduced last year on the Dreamforce, but throughout this year it evolved really. It became more mature, more holistic, let's say, product solution. So basically, whenever this evolution of agents, you have to look two sides. So one side you need to create, let's say, open, creative, powerful agents. And on the other side, you need to be that they are controllable, that they are as much predictable as possible, which is hard. So because you don't want basically that Agentforce hallucinates in front of your customers. Okay, so I think that with Dreamforce, with Agentforce 360, this is much more possible. You already heard today in the keynote, I think Connor mentioned the agent scripts, which is like an additional layer of constraints that you can add to your agents. And there is a new agent builder. So you get a lot of out-of-the-box agents inside Agentforce, but you can also build the one you want, or maybe tweak the out-of-the-box one. And this is where you do it is Agentforce Builder. And this builder is completely renovated. So the new interface, way more clean, way more, and you can type prompts. You can converse with Agentforce inside the Agentforce Builder, which helps you actually build the agent. And it's not just like giving you suggestions, it's also act on these suggestions. So it's like similar to vibe coding, what we also mentioned today. And speaking of vibe coding, Agentforce Vibe was also introduced. It is more maybe for developers, not so much for admins or consultants at this point. So it actually makes much more easy for developers to write the code, not just to write the code, like it's a basic, maybe boring code. They can just write prompts. And behind the scenes, the agents build all the code by itself and builds the apps, Lightning components, and so on. Yeah, so the question was around the core products. It's very hard to isolate the core products from the Agentforce. Basically, literally, they are now named Agentforce Sales, Agentforce Marketing, and so on. But maybe just to give a few examples, let's say for Sales Cloud, the whole sales funnel actually is covered now by an enormous amount of these agents. Okay, so for instance, from prospecting to, I don't know, opportunity management to revenue growth and so on. For instance, in prospecting part, you have these agents that can actually connect with some third-party products like, I don't know, Demandbase or Apollo, which maybe you already use or a business developer use already, and brings leads or bring insights into the system. And also it prioritizes your leads automatically based on some signals that it gets from CRM, from Apollo, from Demandware, and so on. And it doesn't stop there. It also gives you suggestions. What is next action? Let's say next action is make a call, send an email. It helps you create this email. It helps you schedule a meeting. So it's really automated process. Okay. For Service Cloud, we already heard the Agentforce Voice. and Posta presented Pia, so it's like a similar product, but it doesn't stop with Agentforce Voice. This is like a first level of interaction, maybe for more simple cases, but whenever it gets more complicated or some escalation is needed, sales rep needs to be there. And sales rep also has a sales rep assistant agent, which helps him find the right solution like really quickly, maybe diving into all the knowledge that company has, some policies, some former use cases, and so on. And whenever the case is solved, basically Agentforce also suggests a knowledge-based article, and you can just with a click save it, and it's then used for the future cases. Okay, so also here everything is covered with Edge, and marketing was because my passion is marketing. I'm more marketing guy. I really wanted to find out more about what is happening with marketing, and a lot is happening with marketing. Let's say what is the buzzword that they used is it's over with the do not reply marketing. This is like the main message. Okay, and what does this mean? We start with the era of two-way communication. And what does this mean? Actually, you are sending out, let's say, with Marketing Cloud today, you're sending out 100,000 emails, 200,000 emails, you're sending SMSs, you're sending push notifications, etc. And usually, this is one-way communication. The other way is maybe you track metrics like click opens and so on, but this is it. But with two-way communication, what they mean is that you actually leverage and enable a private channel. So if I receive an email from marketing, I don't know, let's say OTP, okay, they send me an email, and I can reply to this email, starting a private channel communication with the agent behind the scenes. Or maybe more relevant example, like Adriatic on today. Imagine this not happened because Kovačeva Kubila is Vilna Bosana, but maybe for the next year, you received, I don't know, at 7:30 in the morning, you received WhatsApp message, like, oh, today is the Dreamforce, don't forget, we start at 9 o'clock, But then you realized, oh, I need to bring the child to the kindergarten and so on. I'm late, I will be late. So what is the next session? So you write it back. And it gives you the next session, so agenda and maybe some additional guidance where to park, etc. So it's way more interactive on the spot. You don't need to wait for that. Okay. So this is really cool. And you have a lot of these agents. So this is one, two-way communication agents. And then you have agents for, I don't know, building campaigns, building journeys. Now you have to click and select and create a journey. Now you just type a prompt and it creates it for you, which is very cool. And also you type a prompt and it creates a segment for you. So very cool stuff around marketing.
Looks like Dan, you are really inspired there. You just can't stop talking.
We got him.
Yes,
we got him with our Dreamforce bug.
And this is the objective perspective. So,
okay, Kate. One of the topics that I was especially interested because I'm a kind of a conservative guy, and I want to check if this, what Dan was now telling is this really works in practice. Is Salesforce as a customer zero. So we mentioned this already today. So Salesforce try to use as much as possible of those technologies also internally. So what does it mean?
Yeah.
But maybe also then if you can deep dive some practical examples that you have in terms of how actually you use the Agentforce AI agents internally at Salesforce.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'll try to be concise. And if you need more context, Dan can help me. So, I mean, customer zero really means that we are implementing our own AI and testing it internally before we roll out it to you guys, right? And like every tech company is now building their AI one way or another, but we are one of the few companies who is actually using AI on a very large, complex, enterprise-grade system, which is very security sensitive, and we are doing that at scale. And this is the whole process of trial and error and enhancement. And I think the good thing about it is not just we are telling you, oh, Agentforce is cool, here it is, go try it. But we are actually, because we try it ourselves first, we're giving you the blueprint. And we are helping you with that best practices of how to adopt it, right? So for our customers, first of all, it means that this AI is battle proven, if you will, right, in real time scenario. And I'm going to come to examples in a minute. It's a faster innovation for us because we're our own most demanding customer, and guess what? Our people love to provide feedback, so they provide very constructive feedback, which help us with a more rapid product development. And of course, as I mentioned, it's best practices that we consolidate together and deliver to our customers. Because I come from sales background myself, for me, the dear to my heart is like, how do I make my team more productive? How do I make sure they spend their time on what's important, which is talking to the customers, right? And in sales, there is this prep tax. Basically, what we've analyzed is that for every interaction, you're spending 60% of time prepping for it and doing post-prep, right? So I need to think of what I'm going to say, bring relevant use cases, understand what the context is. Then after the meeting happened, I need to bring this all notes and next steps and put them in my CRM and then schedule a follow-up. And all of this is, very valuable for us as a company, but for a seller, it's admin. So what we've done, we've created what we call Sales Agent. And the beauty of it, that it works directly in our flow of work, which is Slack. And it kind of helps you to do exactly that, right? So it auto-summarizes your engagement with the customer. It creates next steps. It updates CRM records. And it creates the customized follow-up with some relevant customer stories or next steps. So this way, officially, I think at this point at Salesforce globally, we've counted that we are saving 200,000 hours. And those are the hours that we're giving back to our teams to be more productive and focus on more highly valuable and intellectual tasks, right? So for me, this is a clear business impact and ROI just there. And this is just one example. And as Dan mentioned, right, we have internal agents that are helping us all the way with different organizations within Salesforce. We also have external agents that are helping our customers when they interact with Salesforce. And this is just the beginning. I think, to be honest, we barely scratched the surface.
And after the lunch, we'll see, when we will talk about Slack, how all these agents are actually delivered through a conversational application like Slack. It's actually true. So at first I was a bit kind of a skeptic, but then I found a few Salesforce people and attacked them and wanted to see how this works. So it really works.
No, but guys, come at the break and we'll show you actually, like on my phone right here, how it works. And to be honest, if there was one advice to give to everyone, don't think of AI project as a standalone project, right? Think of it as what business problem I'm solving, what Marco was saying, what are the KPIs and P&L of that project, and how do I embed it in the flow of work, wherever that flow is, right? For us, it's Slack, but it could be anything else. So for the team who actually need to use it, it's as seamless as can be.
Okay, great. So we are running out of time, but I don't want just cut it. So I will give you the opportunity for 30 seconds if there is something very important that you wanted to say and didn't say yet, just to finish off this conversation.
I think, we can talk about Dreamforce for a very long time, but this is the type of event that is better to see once with your own eyes than to hear about it. So I really encourage you all to start thinking and budgeting with your management. Go into US next year and experiencing it yourself.
Dan.
Yeah, it was a great experience for me. You mentioned Metallica. I also added to this Matthew McConaughey session with poetry. He was reading poems of his he wrote. And beside him, I figured it out at the session that was an ex-wife of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Maria Shriver. So I was like, okay, this is an ex-wife of Conan the Barbarian. So yeah, okay. Very exciting. So yeah, cool stuff. The highest building in San Francisco is Salesforce Tower. And Kate was also invited us to see the 360 view, not just of Agentforce, but also the whole San Francisco Bay Area. So it was really nice.
Great, great. So to finish off, this session was partly to give you some impressions from the Dreamforce, but also to motivate you to maybe start thinking about going to Dreamforce next year, how the logistics look like. Typically, sometime in spring, you will need to think about budgets. You also need to do some booking for a hotel, to buy a ticket for Dreamforce. And then next year, I think Dreamforce is from the 15th till the 17th September.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars, and I hope we will see some of you also next year in San Francisco to try the self-driving cars and everything else that you can find in San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.